How's it going, folks? Today we're going to be trying out that brand new 82nd Airborne battle group, and I'm just really rearing to go here. I've got some ideas of how to make this as effective as possible. One kind of strange thing about this battle group is that they don't have any actual aerial recon units, which I think is a little weird. But nonetheless, we're going to be pushing our airborne units all the way over there at that attack beacon. And I'm also going to try to help out my allies here, since honestly, they're going to have to be the ones that kind of push through here. All we can essentially do is hold on to certain locations and make it a little bit more difficult for the enemy to break through themselves. So I'm sending my airborne units right there, as you could see. And I think what I want to do to make it a little easier for them to get in is maybe bring in a few little birds. These guys are, of course, attack choppers, and I'm hoping that they'll keep our men alive at least temporarily while they get into the position. Although now that I look at it, I think that I'm probably going to have to go ahead and get some additional infantry units, or maybe some tank units. We've got quite a few Sheridans. I know it's not the best vehicle in the world, but you know what? It might just make the difference between having a vehicle and not having a vehicle at all. I'll also get a recce unit there to follow them in. And maybe we'll get an airborne tank unit. We'll eventually decide what to do with them. I'm going to send him right there. Wish us luck, and let's get started with the 82nd Airborne. Moment of truth, boys and girls. Our guys are getting into position. It looks like those initial airborne units are doing just fine, landing on target. Of course, we want to bring the rest of them up, and I'm going to bring this command vehicle up as well, just to make sure that we completely take that area and it's under our control. And once these guys are in position, we'll consider maybe moving forward through the woods here. Who knows? We might end up attacking the enemy, but I don't want to do anything just yet. Actually, speaking of attacking the enemy, let's go ahead over here to our helicopter units. Let's get some Cobras in here, and we're going to send the Cobras right over here to try and assist our ally. So here we go. We should have enough to take this area. It looks like not quite yet. So what can we do? We can take our little birds and wipe out any enemy vehicles in the area. It looks like an anti-air vehicle right there, so I really want to take him out. There he is. That's definitely him. One down. We're going to take out the next one here. Those little birds are going down quickly, though. Might actually need to bring some additional choppers into this location. I'm going to grab the command unit and have him land right there. It looks like our ally is also bringing up some mortars. That's going to be quite helpful for sure. Oh, there we go. Got our land units, push them up this way. As for this guy, we're going to simply unload him at this position so that we take this area. Well, the battle has begun, going right up the road there, and I think the first thing I'm going to do here is get some airborne gunners in. We want to try and fill this area with units if we can, and since the enemy is going for this location, we're going to actually send our airborne gunners this way. Maybe start getting in these buildings and take the Soviets out. Our guys are doing as well as they can, I suppose, but they need to do a lot better, and we also need much better recon out in this area. Get him, Cobra. Missed him. Both shots missed. Got to do better than that. And so far, our infantry is doing just fine in terms of holding this area. The question is, can we destroy the rest of these incoming units and get rid of that tank? There we go. Not too bad. These are the Sheridans actually firing right now. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. If we want to go real crazy, we can also bring in an Abrams. And you know what? It might not be the worst thing to bring in at the moment. So let's get that Abrams in here. Because our guys are just barely holding on to this side of the field. And I'm also going to start pushing forward with these arrow rifle units. I think it's much more important that we take this area under control than anything else, basically.
What are your orders?
Here we go. Let's get those Cobras over here.
What are your orders, sir?
And there we go. We've got some additional units arriving. These guys absolutely need to hang out in these buildings right here.
Beware, commies nearby. Need a ride?
As for that airborne unit, we're going to unload him at this position. Everybody is going to be getting into these buildings just in an effort to take the area back. And sure enough, our Cobras are trying to provide some fire support. Easier said than done. I actually think it might be better for us to go for that recon unit than the tank, but too late for that. There we go. Get in there with the airborne unit. And we're going to unload at that position. Grab that airborne unit. These are airborne gunners, even though most of the time is spent in, of course, a plane or something like this, paradropping. In this case, they are on the ground, but they do a damn good job anyway, I can tell you that. Well, here we go, guys. Time to bring in some additional little birds. We're going to bring in 2 over here to take out that recon unit.
Yes, sir.
And I'm even going to bring in some additional Abrams, believe it or not. I want to have a few strong tanks here. Hopefully that allows us to hold this position. Right now we have stopped the Soviets from taking points. Hopefully that's a step in the right direction. There we go, there we go. Now, what about our air units? We've got some pretty good stuff, guys. We got an A-10 here for an A-10 strike. I'm going to call it in on that recon unit. Get rid of that annoying recon unit. And you know what? We could also bring in some infantry right here just to secure this zone. We'd end up getting quite a few points from it. So I'm thinking the next time we get a chance, we're going to bring some infantry. But with a battle always going on like this one, it's kind of hard to find time for that, to be honest. Ooh. Never mind. Never mind, Raven 4.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Change mission target.
As you command, sir. Choose your target.
There we go, guys. It is definitely under NATO control at the moment. Enemy is pushing with everything they've got here. And hopefully we're going to have enough to hold it. Yes! Keep it going, boys. Keep it going. Keep it going. Is that Abrams still there? He certainly is. So are the little birds. And you know what we need to do? We need to get a Logi truck up here in this area.
It's hot up there.
And you bet I'm going to bring in another Abrams. As well as a Sheridan. But with the Cobras, to be able to actually use them again, I'm going to bring them back here, get that fuel vehicle in, and provide as many resources as we can for them. In fact, we're going to reposition these guys right there, put the Abrams right there. See, all of these guys, the little birds, the Cobras, etc., they can all be used again, but they need to refuel. So we're going to land them. Let's just land. Hopefully the enemy doesn't get over here with an artillery strike. And we're going to try to take out that tank as well. In fact, let's help our ally out here. We're going to try to take out that recon vehicle. The recon is really going to be the most dangerous thing at the moment, I believe. And you know what? I'll also bring in 2 of these anti-air helicopters to take on the enemy Mi-24s there. Again, we're still ignoring this area, which we could be taking.
Tank ready.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. There's the supply. There's the supply. That can get our birds in the sky again.
Are you sure it's safe?
Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. There we go. We should be getting that supply to the birds.
Medic.
And they're absolutely going to be getting that supply. Hopefully, though, we take these guys out before they make it to location. Abrams. They really want to get through with some SAMs, and it's because of the choppers. I hope the choppers didn't take too much of a beating there. All right, let's get them in the sky. Start dealing with the threat over here. T-62, baby. And actually, the BRDM is really more of a threat to me. Let's take the little bird against the T-62.
Ryan, get down.
It's also time to bring in some of those airborne gunners. In fact, we could get a cheaper unit, so let's get the engineers, and the engineers will take over that area. As for our airborne gunners, we could even bring in some more Chinooks, which is pretty crazy. And there we go. He's doing what he can. The Cobra is doing what he can, hitting and striking those units. But we got to get rid of the ones directly ahead of us. There we go. Also, it doesn't look like they had time to fully load. I mean, certainly enough to take out some of the enemy here, but not a full load. We're going to head back. So far, so good, baby.
Get in formation. Red 6, mount it up.
Make sure that all of those armored vehicles are right there, and we're going to need to bring in some additional supply. That's right. For now, however, I'm just going to bring in an Abrams, and we'll also bring in an airborne gunner squadron for this tile, just in case the enemy tries to take it. But as you can see, we really do need to take this tile right here. So as soon as the engineers get in here, we're going to start unloading them at position. Make sure this area is completely controlled by NATO. No chance of any agents getting through, etc., etc. And hopefully that will start moving those chits in the right direction. Nonetheless, I'm loving this airborne squad. They are fun to use. Almost enough for a Logi truck, because we do need one more Logi truck.
Need a ride? Get out now! Bring us there, taxi. It always comes down to the infantryman and his rifle.
Alright, we're going to bring in also airborne squad over here as well.
I can hear the bullets whistling by me.
But again, we really need to retake that location right there. That's going to be the most important area to go for. Let's try to bring in a Sheridan right here. Hopefully that will mean that we'll control the area. And while we're at it, let's bring in some Logi trucks.
Someone needed Guardian Angel.
Come on, boys. I think our Cobra should be able to take this guy on.
Checklist complete.
Little Bird is getting
Ready to go.
shot up, and we can't have that. We also need some Recce over here. But again, the Recce for this particular group, I don't find it all that strong. Airborne gunners arriving on site.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
There we go. Took us a while to actually take that area. I feel like it probably shouldn't have taken that long.
We'll deploy at this position.
And look at that. It looks like we're going to have to beef up security over here for sure. Send some airborne gunners there to deal with the oncoming Soviet threat. And we should have also sent a Logi vehicle there. Those guys have been firing since the beginning of the fight. I'm sure that they're going to need some additional ammunition.
Ah, I'm hit. We can't take
Get them, boys. Get them. Enemy has just passed the 50% point threshold needed to win. We're doing what we can, folks. We are doing what we can. And definitely our first time with this rifle squad. Come on now. Yeah, it seems the Sheridan definitely helped to secure the location. We got to move that Sheridan here, though. All right, wait a minute, wait a minute. Put that supply down right there.
Sky is ours.
Land, land, and land.
Brian, get down. Enemy at 3 o'clock high. I think I've been hit.
So they're also fixing these choppers up, not just, of course, getting them ammunition. Got to keep that in mind, and we've also got to bring in some more anti-air over here. All right, there we go. That area is being retaken, believe it or not.
Engine is running.
Certainly taken a while, but it is being retaken just barely. And what I'm going to do is get some Sheratons, just go crazy with the Sheratons in this area.
Backwards.
And we'll also try to get some Recce to move up with them.
Brian.
Hopefully these Sheratons are going to be enough to force the enemy back, essentially. And I'm amazed, but they still have evidently some units over here, from what I can see. Could also be because we took our other Sheridan away from the area, but I'm not so sure.
Get in formation. Mayday! Mayday!
You gotta be kidding me.
The sky is ours.
Waiting for
Nice.
instructions.
Obliterating that frontal assault. All those Motor Streltsky units coming up the road.
Warning.
Wir haben Feindkontakt.
And again, here we'll just get some engineer units to take the area.
Looking for enemy planes. We'll deploy at this position. Ryan, get down. Platoon formed and ready. Beware.
Got those Vulcan cannons.
Take cover, Lieutenant.
Oh, can the Vulcan cannons maybe only take out choppers? That is news to me. Oh, never mind. We have to unload them. All right, let's unload them here.
Gun checked and ready.
So now they should be able to fire at the enemy, but that's going to take a little while.
I'm hit.
We'll do the same over here with the Sheridans, guys. I'm really trying to just overwhelm the area with armor at this point. I know it's not common for an airborne force to do that, but we've got to do whatever we can. I'm amazed he got by.
Where do you need us, sir?
Looks like those Sheridans are about to get to target.
Medic! Back up! Back up!
See, the issue here is simply point control. I feel like we should have this area, but maybe we just let so many enemies through that they're, like, in the woods and we're not spotting them. We'll unload this guy. Unload him at position. Why not? We'll try to push him even farther out here.
Deploy at this position.
And let's, of course, go with our tried and true method of the helicopter support, the heavy hogs here.
Ryan, get down!
I'm almost tempted to just leave one of these Sheridans on this tile. I know if we bring in a command unit, we'll definitely take the area.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
I'm listening, Captain. I'm hit! Medic!
Checklist completed. Ready to go.
Copy, right up. Get in formation.
All right, here we go. Sheridan's incoming again. Not sure it'll make a difference, but incoming nonetheless.
War Daddy to Red Leader. I am listening.
Waiting for instructions. Boom.
Got artillery firing directly on the Vulcan cannons. Let's go.
Captain and his crew welcome you aboard. Someone needed Guardian Angel.
Here we go, guys. Taking out the tanks with the heavy hogs.
Ammo
Beware, commies nearby.
We took out maybe one group of tanks, but that's all we got in terms of shots here. So we'll bring the heavy hog over here to take on the infantry in this sector. They've still got plenty of machine guns, etc. But that is disappointing, to say the least.
Mayday! Mayday!
Here's what we can do. We can get the Sheridan here, the command Sheridan. And we can also get maybe some additional standard Sheridans over here. But I just don't think we've secured enough or exerted enough control over these points. I feel like we should have almost won this battle, because just look at that, man. Especially here. Like, this area is pretty much ours.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Let's take our armor here and push right up.
We're badly hit! I'm hit! Red 6,
Get them, boys, get them. That BRDM is really one of the biggest threats.
Red leader, I am listening.
And again, if we just reduce their number here, well, that's a chance that where we can actually take control of the area. We're going to bring in a nice recce vehicle this time.
Beware, commies nearby. Ryan, get down. Yes,
So incredibly, our armor has wiped out any and all guys around this general area. There's some back here too, but not enough to take control. Get them, the Thessaloniki units. Nice. And now we're going to move these guys back over here with the Sheridan.
time to move.
We did what we could, but I'm not sure we secured a victory. Maybe. I mean, we're just barely holding on here, incredibly. Move these Sheridans over here. We'll keep the command vehicle here, though.
What are your orders, sir?
The battle continues, guys. The 82nd Airborne refused to surrender. I'm going to be sending in some more airborne units, actually. A lot of these buildings have been destroyed, but I want to get our infantry out in the area, at least.
Ryan, get down. Yes, sir.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
We'll deploy at this position.
Get out at that position, boys.
Mayday! Mayday!
We're also going to have to take some of our infantry here and move into this area. Hopefully that allows us to take it. I'm hoping that as long as we keep the command Sherman back here, then we control this area no matter what. But look at that, man. They're making a major push. The enemy's making a major push over here for this area.
Medic!
Gotta try to get those guys in here soon.
Need a ride? Bring us there, taxi.
It's time to bring in the arrow rifles, guys. We're bringing in some Chinooks.
Beware, commies nearby.
And we're gonna hopefully land them right away to respond to this. In fact,
I'm hit.
let's just make sure. He's gonna land right there. And
Captain and
he
his crew welcome you aboard.
is gonna land over here, as a matter of fact, at that farm location.
Back up! Back up! Ryan, get down. This is Red 2. Enemy spotted. Back up!
Look how they just keep coming up this road like we're not gonna utterly annihilate them. There we go. Good work, guys.
All right, ladies, it's time to move.
Here we go, folks, and we'll unload this guy at that building if he can make it there. Come on, Airborne.
Platoon formed and ready.
Get out there. Nice. And look at that. Enemies directly ahead of us. And you know what? We're going to trust in those trusty heavy hog helicopters. We're going to bring one right there. And I'll also bring in maybe an air unit, another A-10 Warthog.
Any target?
I say, why not? Let's bring in the A-10 Warthog. And we're going to try to hit that Strela, that anti-tank weapon. In fact, it'd be even better if we hit that artillery piece there, so that's what I'm going for. That's what we need. We need control of all locations, and right now we are actually taking the points, unbelievably.
I hear you loud and clear.
Is that going to continue? I
Enemy at 3 o'clock
freaking
high.
hope so, man. We're going to bring in an anti-air unit. They're sure to go for an anti-air approach. And, of course, some good old-fashioned airborne rifles. Let's get them in the woods over here, because there's a lot of enemies in this area. I think if we have some guys in the woods, they should be able to do a hell of a lot of damage to them. Holy hell, though, that's a lot of anti-air. Look at how many air... We definitely got to get AA here. AA is on the way, but, man, we need a lot of it.
Yes, sir. Get out now.
Still learning how to use the AA units, although right now we are winning in terms of points. I'm sure that's likely to change.
Ammo depleted.
We can't take it anymore.
This complex is everything to us, at least in this area. It's absolutely everything.
Ah, I'm hit.
You know what? We're going to do the same thing. Start going for these other air units. Let's bring in an F-18. And, oh, it looks like the artillery is just out of range.
Medic! This is Red 2. Enemy spotted.
Guys, if we can hold on like this, we can have this win. I am going to try to push up there. It's a bit risky, but I'm trying to push up with the infantry right there where the enemy is approaching. You can see our ally has already taken the hint, and they're already up there in that wooded area firing down at the enemy.
Roger. Redeploying. Out.
Let's get that artillery.
Winchester.
And look at that. Quite a few mortars. We're going to bring some mortars in. What else can we get? 155 millimeter. Yes, please. Nice big old howitzer. I'm not sure we need to be that close for the howitzer. And you know what? We're probably going to have to bring another infantry unit over here. They keep trying to break through, and they may have just succeeded. Come on now, boys.
You have orders, Captain?
Get them, engineers.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Just going to get into this suburban home. Should be enough to take them out. Nice! Thank you! Allied chopper actually helped us out on that one.
Yes, sir.
Ammo depleted.
And we're going to have them unload at that position.
Play this position.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Well, let's hope so anyway. So far, things are looking pretty good. You know, I think these guys could also use a recce vehicle right there, the Sheridan and all those guys.
Right up. Get in formation.
Let's grab some more mech rifles. This is probably our best rifle squad. And the mech rifles we're going to put right there where our allies are. We already have some AA, so yes, I think we just killed one. Yes, we did. So the AA is doing its job. That's what we like to see. And we are going to unload this gun. Man, talk about turning things around with the 82nd. Sure enough, they do have a motor Streltsky unit right there. That is beyond annoying that our allies not taking that out with the motor rifles. Or with the mech rifles, I should say. It's going to end up destroying a Bradley unnecessarily.
Back up!
But that's okay. I've been wanting to bring in this Apache.
War daddy to red leader.
Load.
I am listening.
Ah, I'm hit.
So I just hope that that howitzer is not too close. Impossible.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Maybe a question of being too close.
6 rounds. Over.
He is still going to fire in that general location, though, so as long as he fires and we can hold this position, I'm a happy man. Come on, boys. 82nd, we can live through thick and thin. It can burn, it doesn't matter. Now, of course, we got no building, but we're still engaging the enemy here.
Enemy at 3 o'clock high.
Look at that +3, guys. Our point count is growing very quickly.
Yes, sir. One more hit, we're done.
And we're going to bring in a whole bunch of dragons right to the middle of the map there. They're going to fight in the forest if they have to, anything to stop the enemy here. Man, I am loving these airborne guys. It's a very different force. I almost feel like this is a more defensive force than it is an offensive force. I am having a lot of fun with it, though. And who else are we going to bring in? Maybe we bring in a couple Humvees. No, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in some artillery, some additional artillery.
Beware, commies nearby. It's hot here.
Get him. Still having to deal with anti-air. Imagine that. He tried to get right past us. Not a good idea at all. And I'm also going to bring in some additional infantry. I mean, you can't go wrong with some more of this infantry, and I want to probably send them over here to the left side of the map. We've already got some on the way here, guys, and I'm going to take this one and unload them at that position. Now, the real question, guys, with 10 minutes left is, can we beat the enemy points-wise? Maybe not. It might be too late. I really hope that's not the case, but it could be.
One more hit, we're done.
Let's get some Logi in here as well, and you know what else? We're going to get some good old-fashioned air units, some Cobras. Move them over here.
Ryan, get down. Someone call for a cab?
And again, we're just going to unload these guys in this position. It looks like our ally is also using an air cavalry approach. Unfortunately, his guy got taken out pretty quickly there. I'm going to unload this infantry here too so that we use these guys in the forest. As a matter of fact, we've got these guys right here. We can also put them in the woods. I'm just going to unload them. And from here, they should be able to actually return fire on the enemy. Let's take a look there. Guys, it's going to be so close whether or not we get a victory here. Man, I really hope we do. There we go. We've got another unit over here. It's all down to the 82nd Airborne.
My engine is on fire.
And I'm not too familiar with the Humvee tows, but we're going to go ahead and bring some in. They're, of course, going to be a method of anti-tank weaponry. I'll also bring in another Humvee with a cannon on top of it, just to stop any air attacks. It does look like they're coming in with some tanks to finish us off. But here we go with the Cobras. Let's do it, baby. First, we'll get those infantry directly ahead of us and also try and hit some of the tanks back there. We've also got some of our own tanks, the Sheridans, firing at the existing enemy units here. Just want to keep them away from this part of the battlefield. That's it. Even the Chinooks are putting up a fight. Let's have him land. No need for him to get taken out here. There we go. Cobra's getting some shots.
I'm making an attack run. Someone need a guardian angel?
Look at that, man. They're absolutely trying with that last group of infantry. And my concern is that they could still actually do pretty well. So let's go ahead and open fire with the artillery. I'm going to bring in some additional artillery right here. It's all coming in with a Chinook, by the way. It's all coming in by Chinook, I should say. Let's see how these frontal guys are doing, man. Not too bad. You know what? We'll try to get some additional infantry over here, some mech rifles. 95 for a single infantry unit. You could tell those guys have some serious value. Come on now, come on now. I believe we're going to be beating the enemy here in terms of points pretty quickly. There we go. The TOWs are going to have to aim right there. Try and get those tanks. Get the Humvee back here behind. And we're even going to get some additional air units.
Loud and clear.
I'm going to go for that recce unit, guys. And in fact, if any of their air units make themselves available to us, then we'll open fire on those air units. We're close to being ahead. I mean, right now, it looks like the air cav is doing okay. Looks like those mortars are doing some great shooting at any of the enemy trying to approach here. In fact, we'll start firing right back there at them. Mortar fire.
It's hot up there. Yes, Captain. Drop 200. 6 rounds. Over.
So far, so good.
Get down. Back up. Back up.
Now, what I'm concerned about, we do see some enemy helicopters. No, they're just recce helicopters. I thought they could be transport helicopters or Soviet air units, in which case they could get behind our lines, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Now, let's unload that gun. I'm thinking the howitzer should be able to fire from here. And either way, we're going to be firing with this howitzer over there, trying to take out as many enemies as we can.
Ryan, get down.
Bring in 2 airborne units as well to put into the woods.
Copy. Right up.
And you know what? We're going to bring in 2 anti-air units. The reason being, we've got enemy helicopters right there. So I think it's probably a good idea that we waste them now and don't let them be a problem later. There we go.
Ryan, get down. Bring us there, taxi.
Here we go, guys. We're bringing in some additional mech rifles, and we're going to unload them at that position.
Ryan, get down.
Get in there, get in there. Nice. Now we should be able to take on the infantry here in the woods facing us. I'm also going to take some of these airborne guys and just bring them over here, but I think we're pretty close to a victory.
We're badly hit. I'm hit.
Gonna bring in that wonderful F-15. Hell of an expensive bit of equipment, as we know. But I'm not sure exactly where I want to use it. Let's...
Ryan, get down.
go for the anti-air unit, perhaps. No, no, no. We're gonna go for their air unit. Here we go. Going for a MiG. 4 minutes left. Oh! Oh, we got one MiG.
I'm out of ammo.
One MiG down.
Copy, line up.
And let's evac. Let's evac. Otherwise, the other one will get us. Think the Eagle's going to be able to get away, although we've got a MiG chasing us, of course. That was a pretty nice kill on the first enemy MiG, though, I must say. I think we did an okay job. Get those Sheridans out there. And you know what? I am going to bring in some additional units. A Phantom.
Ready.
We're going to send the Phantom after the enemy MiG, although it looks like he's going to bug out. So instead, let's use the Phantom against their recon unit there.
Damn, that was close. Beware, commies nearby.
There we go. Recon unit destroyed. Now, they did get the Phantom as well, which is a huge, huge shame. Let's see where he's going to land, way behind enemy lines. I think if he survives the jump, he's almost certainly going to be taken prisoner.
Ready to trim.
I'm going to unload this guy, too, because I already see the enemy getting antsy here at the edge of the woods. Although I think we've got them. Now, we actually didn't get a chance to see the AH-64 in action. 300 for a helicopter. It's one of the most expensive damn things on the map, to be honest with you. But a nice little fight there with the 82nd Airborne. I loved it. I hope you guys had some fun, too. And if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much, folks. I'll catch you on the next one.